Welcome back to the Inner Scoreboard. I'm Paul Brown. In today's episode, we're hearing directly from a young athlete whose experiences offer an important perspective on confidence, belonging, and mental health. My guest is 13-year-old goalie Scarlett Rendell. Scarlett spent the 2025-26 season playing on a boys' team before making the decision to return to girls' hockey for this season. On the surface, this might sound like a conversation about hockey, but it's really about something much bigger. It's about walking into a new environment and wondering if you'll fit in. It's about trying to earn respect, managing pressure, and discovering what helps you perform and what makes you feel like you belong. We'll talk about the positives of playing on a boys' team, the challenges she faced, how the experience affected her confidence, and what she learned about herself along the way. We'll also discuss why she chose to return to girls hockey and what she's looking forward to in the upcoming season. Whether you're an athlete, a parent, a coach, or simply someone who's ever wondered where you'll fit in, I think you'll find something interesting and meaningful in today's conversation. Let's get started. I'm sitting down with Scarlett, who was a goalie on the team that I coached last year, and I thought that we would connect and have a conversation today to talk about what your experience was like last season playing on a boys' team, and interested to get your perspective on how that went for you. How are you feeling today?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. So, can you tell me a little bit about like when did you actually start playing hockey?
I started skating when I was 4, and then I moved to goalie when I was 6.
Nice. And what was it that made you decide to give goalie a try?
I liked a lot of pressure being on me, and like I liked when I made like a big save that everyone like would just cheer for me.
Nice, nice. It's interesting that you would say you like having the pressure because most people at 6 years old would not want to have that pressure.
Yeah.
What is it about the pressure that you like?
I feel like when you have a lot of pressure on you, then like you like do good with the pressure, then like it just is like a lot of like talent. Like it shows a lot of talent when you overcome the pressure.
Okay, so the pressure kind of helps you to perform better.
Yeah.
And for you, when you're in net, what would you say is what's the hardest part for you as
Uh,
being a goalie?
when like an early goal goes in and you have to like mentally reset for the rest of the game
Hmm.
and just worry about stopping the next shot.
So how do you make that reset? How does that happen for you?
I just try and like clear my mind and think about like my motive is like stopping the next shot, like just worry about the next shot.
So for you, so let's say a bad goal goes in, and I can say as someone who watched you play many, many times last year, there weren't too many soft goals. I can tell you that. But for you, when it goes in, you just kind of say, let that go and focus on the next shot.
Yeah.
What is it like? How did you learn that skill?
I used to not be very good after a bad goal would go in. So I like talked with my goalie coach and like he just like taught me how to learn that.
What would happen in the past when you said you weren't very good at it?
I would just start crying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so your goalie coach is Scott,
Yeah.
and we'll give a shout out to Scott Rye. And so, what were the things that he talked to you about, or what did he show you to help you kind of let go of that goal so you weren't crying and you were able to reset, focus on the next shot?
He would like his son, Easton Rye, he said that he like didn't have a good game every single game and that like no one can have a good game every single game. So he said that I just need to learn how to like forget about it and like play in like the present.
And is there a specific skill or things that you say to yourself to help you reset in those moments?
I just say that like I can do it. Like I just tell myself I can do it.
So just positive self-talk helps you.
Yeah.
That's great. And it's so important. Because on other episodes of the podcast, I've talked about confidence and self-talk, and so often that the voice in our head, that inner critic, can really tear us down. So it's great that, as a young person, a young goalie, that you are already able to kind of start filtering out the negative self-talk and start pumping yourself up with positive self-talk.
Yeah.
I'm curious, when you do that, do you talk to yourself? Like, what are some of the things you would say?
I would just say to myself that like I can stop the next shot and like because like when I get in my head, I'm like telling myself that I can't stop it just because I didn't stop the last one. So I just say
Hmm.
I can do it.
And do you say I can stop the next shot, or is it you can stop the next shot?
I.
Yeah, cool. So I know some people, there's some changes that are happening. Some people, often when I talk with young athletes, I tell them to use it in the third person. So say you can stop the next shot, because often when we say it to ourselves, we don't believe it. But it sounds like when you're using that inner voice, you start to believe it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you remember when you and I met for the first time?
Um, yeah, at double A tryouts.
And what was that experience like for you at Double A tryouts? Now, this is fall of 2025.
Yeah. Um, I was really nervous when I met you just because like everything was like going on. Like I had tryouts all that week. And yeah. And like the first thing you told me was to like you like corrected me. So I liked how you like corrected me and like didn't just not say anything. Like you corrected me when I played the puck. You told me that I should like play it a different way and to keep my
Oh,
flat on the ice. So I liked how you corrected me.
oh, okay. And it's funny because looking back, I don't remember actually making that correction, but I do remember seeing you skate the first time. And one of the drills that really stood out to me, it was a corner battle drill, and a lot of the focus was on the skaters. And I was running that drill, and you happened to be down with me, and that's when I it stood out to me about you being there. I'm curious, what like led you to trying out for a boys team?
Um, so in girls, like my entire goal was to make double A, and every single year I wouldn't make it because they already had their goalies picked every year before tryouts. So I just took a year to like focus on my skills, like because boys like are the game is faster and their shots are harder, so that would improve me.
So it was so you could have that experience of the faster game, harder shots, but also there didn't seem to be an opportunity at Double A for girls for last year.
Yeah,
Yeah, and with open borders, I'm guessing that made it a little bit easier to find a place to try out.
yeah, it did.
Yeah. Um, how did you feel going into those tryouts? Because you were the only female goalie that was trying out.
I was really, really nervous going into tryouts, but I was also excited. I was nervous to like make friends because I'm not very like talkative person and not very good at like making friends. Like friends usually like find me. So, but I was excited to play like harder game, I would say.
Did those worries shift at all as you because you were your experience at Double A was a little bit wonky, right? Because you got released, then you got called back, then you got released again, and then you ended up on the single A team. Um, so I'm curious, did any of those worries stick around or leave as the single A season started?
Um, Once we were like a few weeks into the season, all my worries just like stopped. Like especially after we did some stuff in like the summer, like to meet the players. But during the tryouts, I was really nervous.
Yeah. What was the biggest thing that was making you nervous?
Just walking into the dressing room was really scary.
Yeah, imagine all the boys in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was there worry about being accepted?
Um, yeah, because like I didn't want to just play hockey. I also wanted to have like friends on my team. So that made me nervous.
Hmm. How did that play out as the season went on?
It was good. They all like accepted me. Like I feel like they treated me the same as they treated everyone else. So that was good.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's so good to hear. Um, when did you feel any kind of a different kind of pressure? So, being a female on a boys' team, was the pressure different for you than, say, playing on girls' teams in the past?
Yeah, a little because I feel like if like I made a bad first reputation, like if I didn't play too good in my first few games, that like it would like deter them from like being friends with me off the ice, I feel like.
So the pressure was social for you. So my performance is going to impact if I have friends or not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Any worries about like just being a female in that room and if I don't perform well that maybe they would judge because of being a female?
Yeah, I feel like they would. Well, like I felt like that way at the start of the year.
Right. And how did that change throughout the season?
I think they realized that like I was good and everyone has an off game if I didn't do my best.
Hmm. Yeah, and you're an intense competitor too, right? So when you were there, you worked hard, and I think the players would see that.
Yeah.
What were some of the positives of being on a boys team last year?
Like I said, like the game is faster, so it gets you used to moving faster. The shots are harder, so it gets my tracking better. Um, that's it.
Any differences in the dynamics of like the change room atmosphere, boys compared to girls?
Well, like I feel like they were more focused than the girls usually are because I only played single A girls before that, so they weren't very focused.
Right. And you found that there was more focus last year.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some, and did that experience being on that team, has it helped or hurt your game as you've rolled into this year's tryouts and looking to
No,
teams next year?
no, it's really like helped my game. Like it feels like a lot easier now.
What's easier about it?
Um, I'm just way better at tracking the shots now and moving. I feel like I move way better than I moved before last year.
In what way?
Like moving in the crease, like, and I feel like I like understand the game more.
Oh, okay. So expand on that for me. What do you like? How do you understand it more this year from last year?
Like when there's like a penalty, I'll come to the bench. With girls, like they would never call you. Like they'd never like make you do that. So last year I like kind of got into my like system that when there's a penalty, you got to come to the bench. And playing the puck, I'm way better at playing the puck now than I was at the start of the year.
Nice. And when you say coming to the bench in a penalty, so if the other team gets a penalty,
Yeah.
oh, okay, so a delayed penalty. Okay, cool. And what are some things that you learned about yourself being on that team last year?
Just to not like give up after a bad game because like there's gonna be like tough teams and you're not gonna do good every single game. So just be like confident in yourself.
Right. Yeah, and we certainly had a couple of teams that we played that were really, really strong, and they made us work hard. And there's a few games that you stole for us because you showed up and competed really hard, which was helpful.
Yeah.
Was there a moment in the season last year where you kind of felt that you settled in and felt that you really belonged on that team or really belonged playing boys hockey last year?
Yeah, like usually after like big wins versus like Kingston's teams, I would like feel like I like belonged on a boys team and that I could fit in.
And what was that feeling like for you?
It felt really good.
So we've talked about some of the positives of being on the team last year. What were some challenges that you experienced?
Just making friends at the start of the year was harder than it would have been in girls. Mm, adapting to like playing a harder game. That's really it.
What made it harder to get friends at the beginning of the season?
I didn't know anyone when I started on that team. So like usually I'll try out for a team and I'll know like at least one person. But that like team I didn't know anyone. So
So totally new. And I think part of that also is because you live in a different town, right? So a lot of those boys that were on that team were from Peterborough, and you're from outside of Peterborough, so you actually wouldn't have played with any of them even when you were younger,
yeah, I didn't play with any of them.
right? Do you still chat with any of the players on the team now that the season's over?
Um, like I still have them on like social media.
Okay, cool. And when we think back to last season, like you talk about some of the, if you had a goal that went in that you're like, maybe I should have had that one, and you were able to reset. But were there specific moments in the season where you felt that confidence dropped? Maybe you felt like maybe you were in a bit of a slump or anything like that?
Yeah, there was like a 3 game stretch in our season after like I was put in like a tough game against Whitby Blue and we lost pretty badly and I let in a lot of goals. Then for like the next 2 games I just said to myself that I could not stop a puck and I was just like telling my parents like I just could not do it. And that like went on for like 2 games after that. And then finally I just like talked with my goalie coach and just went out and played my best game. And then it was just over.
So for you, the one game against Whitby that impacted you, and then the self-talk kind of took over in a negative way.
Yeah.
And you were able to just reset based on switching that self-talk to just to being a more positive self-talk.
Yeah.
How were you able to kind of keep that rolling for where in the season was that actually?
That was like the middle of the season, like closer to like the end, but like the middle.
Okay. And was that the only time you felt that you were in a slump, or were there other times that it happened?
That was the only time that like the slump carried on for like more than 1 game. Like I felt like I had a few other games that like weren't my best game, but that game like carried on for like 3 games.
Right. And then after that, changed your self-talk and you were able to kind of get it back moving forward.
Yeah.
And I have a sense of how you might answer this question, but in terms of emotions after a bad game, what were they like for you?
I would be like really like I'd be like mad at myself because I felt like if I played bad, I was like the worst feeling is like just feeling like you're disappointing your team or coaches. So after a bad game, I'd like feel like I was disappointing my team or coaches.
Yeah, I can remember a few games you leaving the change room and being pretty upset, and I think we talked about it a couple times, that feeling like you had let people down.
Yeah.
And who would you talk to when you started having those feelings?
I talked to like my dad because he would like tell me that like you can't play good every single game and that like people aren't disappointed in you because like they know how good you are.
Yeah, and how hard you work, right? So, and I know for me as a coach, and even when I'm doing mental performance work with athletes, it's about the process. It's about putting in the effort and putting in the time, not just about the wins and the losses, right? It's the work that goes on in between the wins and losses.
Yeah, like at practices.
So it's really cool that your dad kind of is able to remind you of some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. Um, were there people like you had a goalie partner? Did you guys ever have conversations about any of that kind of stuff?
I don't really remember. I don't think so though.
No? Okay. Do you have other people that maybe understood what you were experiencing in those moments? So beyond your parents, but maybe any goalies that you had played with in the past?
Like my friends from other teams would understand. Like some of the people I'm playing with this year, I would talk to about my bad games.
And what would they say to encourage you to keep you to help shift you into a positive mindset?
Just like you can't play your best every game, and like people like understand that.
So there's a real theme of other people and even for yourself when you're talking to yourself, this sense of acceptance of you've said it, you can't play your best every game. So not trying to hold yourself to a standard of perfection.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I really do.
I remember speaking to your dad uh, during tryouts because he had reached out to me. And when we were talking about you being on the team, and he was really, really clear with me about she doesn't want to be in a separate change room. She wants to be in with the team and wants to feel part of the team and gearing up with the team. So as a coach, I wasn't really sure what that experience was going to be like when I have a room full of 13-year-old boys and a 13-year-old girl, and everyone's wanting to get changed in the same room. What was that experience like for you sharing the change room with the boys?
It was good. I wanted to be in like the same room because I feel like I have to have like a social aspect of hockey. I can't just like not have any friends on my team. And I feel like most of like the friendships come from like getting to know each other. And I feel like the dressing room is like the main place.
Yeah, because you have times you would show up before the game and you guys would be in the change room or walking around the arena. Then we would do a quick talk and then it was dry land. Then you're back in the change room as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And were there like, did you feel safe in that environment? Did you feel supported when you were around the team in those situations?
Yeah, I did. Because like I always felt like if anything was like wrong, I could always like talk to someone.
Who were the people that you would talk to about that kind of stuff if something was wrong?
I felt like any of the coaches would have talked to me about it. My parents would have. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, because I know that us as coaches, and a shout out to Jess as well, being the manager on the team. She was great about making sure that if, as another female, if there was someone you wanted to speak with, that she was available for you as well. And that was really helpful for us as a bench staff because, the rest of us were guys and, sometimes a 13-year-old girl doesn't want to talk to a grown-up man about whatever's on her mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good that Jess was an available option to chat with also. Um, Did the experience kind of impact how you see yourself, having had that experience on the boys team?
Um, I see myself a lot more like confident now because like it was hard. So, and I like figured out that like I could like do it. So I see like more confidence now in my game.
Is that confidence strictly with respect to your game, or has it carried over to other areas of your life?
Um, like mostly in my game.
Yeah. Okay. And what did you learn in terms of like having a sense of belonging? Was there anything you learned from being on a boys team that impacted that?
That like you just need to like be confident and like act like you belong and that they'll like accept you.
And for you, so big shift for this year. Last year you played with the boys, and this year you made a decision to go back to girls hockey. Much to my disappointment, because I was hoping you would stick around and might have a chance to work with you for another year. Although I didn't think you would end up on my team, I thought you would go up. Um, I'm curious what made you make the shift back to girls hockey?
Uh, U15 like majors in girls hockey is like their draft year. So, and I felt like I had like more of a chance of getting seen because like my team's doing a bunch of like showcase tournaments. this year. So I just want to get like seen by like scouts, and I feel like I have a better chance in girls hockey.
So more chance for exposure.
Yeah.
Is there an end goal for you in terms of like you're saying scouts? What kind of scouts are you hoping can see you?
Um, it doesn't really matter. I just like want to get seen and like scouted.
Is there a certain level of hockey that you're hoping to achieve, whether it's, PWHL or are you thinking for colleges?
Um, yeah, I want to go to the PWHL like eventually, and I want to get like a scholarship to school.
Nice. Those are amazing goals to have. And it makes sense that you'd want some people, some scouts to see you so you can have an opportunity at those.
Yeah.
As you go into like we're in the off season now, it's July, but as you get ready for the 2026 season, what are some things that you're looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to tournaments and like the scouting tournaments with all the scouts there. I'm looking forward to getting to know my new team, um, and my new coaches.
Do you know any of your current team from before, or is everyone new again?
I know most of them. Like, there's like a third of my U13 A team that I played on before last year is on this team.
So there's some that you know, some new people. What about the coaches? Do you know them from the past?
Yeah. Um, it was the coach is one of my assistant coaches from a few years ago. And there's like the assistant coaches, a few of them I also know from a few years ago.
And how will like the perspective on girls hockey, has it shifted at all from now from before when you played? So having had that 1 year playing elsewhere, any changes in your thoughts in terms of the girls game?
Well, like when we were like almost done the season, I did not want to go back to girls hockey. I wanted to stay in boys hockey, but like coaches and people, like my mom talked to people and like asked them what would be better for me to like get scouted, like what I'd have more opportunities at. And everyone was telling me girls hockey. So then I just kind of like told myself that like if I wanted to get scouted and go somewhere, then I had to go to girls hockey.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's a tough situation, right? Because you talked about the difference in maybe, the speed and the shots, but there's also needing that exposure and that was a conversation I had had with some other coaches about as much as you're a fantastic goalie, are you going to be seen? Are the scouts going to come out to watch, you when there's only the one person to see, whereas they can go to your showcase tournaments that you're talking about and see all kinds of people.
Yeah.
Um, I'm curious for you, if there was another girl, so going into U14 hockey, and she came to you and said, "Hey, Scarlett, I'm thinking of trying out for boys." What advice would you give her?
I would just tell her to be confident and that it's going to be like harder than what you've played like before. So just be confident and like don't give up because like you will be like accepted at some point and like if you make that team then like you know that like you're meant to be on that team. Like you're good enough to play on that team.
And if you could say something to yourself, so having had that experience now a year later, what would you say to you specifically to prepare?
I would tell myself that like it was a good experience and like I learned a lot of like skills and like how to like be social more with people and that like it was a really good experience to play boys hockey.
Great. So if you could sit down with coaches, now I know that I worked with you last year, but even, coaches that are going to be working with you in the future or some of the other ones that were on our staff, What are some things that you wish coaches understood better about, what goes on in the mind of a young hockey player, young goalie, young female goalie? What do you wish coaches kind of understood better?
That like everyone like is like different. So like everyone needs like a coach to teach them differently. Like you can't teach every single person the same because like not everyone like thinks the same or needs to be coached the same. And that like there's a lot on in everyone's mind. It's not like just hockey that you're focusing on. Like you have school and your friends and like everything like that.
So being able to kind of look at the big picture of you're not just a hockey player, you're also a human being. So look at the person, not just the athlete, and also trying to find what connects with each individual person in terms of coaching them.
Yeah.
Very good. And what's something that coaches can do to help athletes feel safe when they're speaking to them?
I like when coaches have like in the middle of the year, I like when a coach will have like a meeting, like a player meeting to like say everything that they think, like the player's opinion. And I feel like just like being nice to the player and like telling them that they can talk to you.
Right. What about the coaches that are super yelly? As I know some coaches can get pretty aggressive and yell a lot. How does that work for you, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I like when coaches like yell, but like I like when they yell at like the team. I don't like when they like yell to point you out. Like I'm fine with the coach pointing me out, but like I don't like when they like yell at me to point me out.
Okay. So if a coach said to you, "Hey, like Scarlett, that was a soft goal. You gotta do better next time," that's okay. But if they're yelling at you specifically, that's not.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna like take it better and like think about it more if they like just tell me it. Cause like if they yell at me, I'm just gonna like keep replaying it and like not actually think about the problem.
hmm That's important, I think, because you're also saying that, yes, I can be held accountable. So if I do make a mistake, I want you to let me know because I'm going to own that mistake and I'll work through it. But if you're yelling and maybe being disrespectful, that's not going to be helpful.
Yeah.
Very good. What are some other things that can help athletes feel confident and supported when they're on a team?
Mm, just like being treated like the sit like if like you're a girl on a boys team, like just being treated like all the boys on the team, I would want all the coaches to like treat me the same way and like not like treat me differently, I would say.
So equality across the board, everyone's treated the same.
Yeah.
Excellent. Scarlett, I want to say to you that like last year was an absolute pleasure to work with you and to coach you. I was so disappointed when I knew you were going to girls hockey, but I was also so excited for you to have the opportunity to hopefully have some people see you play. I think you have so much to offer, and we're just a wonderful teammate to have. So excited to have this opportunity to chat with you today, and get some insight from you on what it was like to play on the team last year. I'm curious, do you have anything else that you want to go over before we wrap up?
No, just thanks for coaching me and thanks for doing this podcast with me.
Oh, I appreciate you, and I was honored to work with you last year. It was really a privilege.
Thank you.
I want to thank Scarlett for sharing her story with such honesty. It takes courage to talk openly about the pressures, uncertainties, and emotions that come with being a young athlete, especially when those experiences involve stepping so far outside your comfort zone. Her willingness to reflect on both the successes and challenges reminds us that growth isn't always about winning games or making saves. Sometimes it's about learning who you are, what environments bring out the best, and having the confidence to choose the path that's right for you. For parents and coaches listening, I hope this conversation serves as a reminder that every athlete has an inner scoreboard. Long before we see confidence or a lack of it, we're seeing the result of what they've been telling themselves and how supported they feel by the people around them. Our greatest opponent isn't always on the other side of the ice or the field. Often, it's the voice inside our own head. Creating a culture where athletes feel accepted, valued, and safe doesn't just improve mental health, it also helps athletes perform at their best. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like and subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a coach, a teammate, a parent, or a young athlete who could benefit from this conversation. And remember, progress, not perfection.